What's going on, y'all? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent, and we don't do any shows on the weekend, but things have been going well. I mean, basketball overall in 2026 for me, I am up just a hair over 84 units, and NBA playoffs, they've gone well. I think I'm 27. Yeah, I'm 27 and 13 now in the playoffs. Good for I think 43 units. So things continue to go well. WNBA, I've kind of been taking it a little slow to start the season, but it's going to have my full attention very, very soon. Um, and we'll be, going a little heavier with that as well. Vino, great to be back with you. How's everything on your end?
Things are good, Skee. They could be better. Yesterday, nice winner with San Antonio -2.5, big play, but did also invest in their team total, which took some of it away from me. Saturday night, not as good. Half-point loss with Cavalier team total over 108.5. Got to 108. Talk about that in a little bit. Friday night, decent. Overall, Skee, I was checking numbers here, so as far as 45-23 is concerned, I'm glad you're carrying the weight here because my numbers show up 13 units for myself during the playoffs. So combined with your 40, we're up over 50. But my stuff has lagged a little bit the last week. I don't know if I should blame it on vacation or not, but it hasn't been as good as it was to start. So we look to regroup here tonight with a fairly big play. And the W yesterday was a bad day at a W for me. I fell victim to the Mystics. They gave up 97 to Seattle, which that's a red flag and a half. I would have never expected that. Um, and I did have the Dallas Liberty game over the total, which proved to be too high by about 10 points. So need to regroup there as well in the W. So yeah, this has to be a better week for me, Ski, no doubt.
All right, well, let's get it started on the right foot. We have a few games to talk about here today. We will start in the NBA. Knicks and Cavs opened up -2.5 for the Knicks. Looks like two. Total opened. I don't see an opener for the total for some strange reason. But right now we're looking at 218.5. When I get over here to the injury report, I don't see anybody on there for either team. Vino, I mean, when I saw that last game, it looked like the Cavs are done. I'm not gonna lie. It looked like, it looked like they've quit at the end. That's kind of what it looked like to me. Did it look like that to you to start?
I will say this, the one thing I noticed was at the end of that game, the camera did, like, to the top left-hand side, have a visual of Donovan Mitchell just bolting to the locker room. Like, no shake hands, no nothing, just, PO'd, frustrated, whatever. His frustration, obviously, I felt the same because I feel like I lost that play the other night. Had team total over 108.5. They got to 108. Donovan Mitchell goes 2 of 6 from the free throw line. And of all the free throw shooters on that team, you just can't handicap the 86% guy going 2 for 6. 4 for 6 gets a cover. 3 for 6 gets a cover. Anything under his average. So he's 3 for 10 again from 3-point range. I don't know if it's in his head at this point. You look at James Harden. James Harden's lost enough playoff series to where it looks like, yeah, whatever. I know where I'm going after this thing is done. The one thing I will say about the Cavs very quickly here is as far as their team total is concerned, it's in the same place as it was Saturday night. It hasn't been moved. It's still 108.5. And I just described how close they were to getting over that 1 point away. Did not shoot well from three, again, under 30% for the second straight game, but did increase their field goal percentage, Ski. They shot 50% from the field. So everything wasn't bad for the Cavaliers. I think what's bad is what you and I have known to be bad all season, and that's their defense. Either the Knicks are just on another planet right now shooting the basketball, or Cleveland stinks defensively, and maybe it's a combination of both because the Knicks can't miss and Cleveland can't defend. It makes you realize that, 215.5 as an opener up to 218.5 is logical. Shifting favorites here is logical. Sometimes I wonder about these really logical things happening because it means the bookmakers are on the other side of both of these moves. But if I had to trust, I don't know. It's hard to make a case against either one of them, honestly. It's hard to make a case that the Knicks don't win this game. It's kind of hard to make a case that this game doesn't get over. So I somewhat agree. But the one spot where I still lean toward Cleveland, and maybe I'm just a stubborn person, um, is I still think that even if they lose, their team total is probably a shade too low. They've got so much room for improvement offensively that 109 doesn't seem difficult. But stopping the Knicks from getting to 115 plus is another story. It just doesn't look like that's happening.
Yeah, to what you said, I'm not surprised. Cavs coming home shooting a little bit better. They've been better at home all playoffs long. I'm not mad. If we want to expect that to continue, I would just say why exclude the Knicks? I mean, this Knicks
Right.
offense has been humming. They won what 10 games in a row. I think over 218.5 is doable in this game. Um, People in the chat say, I guess they say Cavs are desperate, but too easy to make vacation reservations.
it's it's kind of the way
um,
you have to feel.
yeah, I think it's Knicks are over in this game for sure for me. All right, we're gonna go to WNBA, and I'm not gonna lie, today WNBA, I don't really feel very strong about. Portland opened up 11 and a half, and it's right now at 11. Or I'm sorry, New York was minus 11 and a half, and right now it's 11. Total right around the opener of 175. I should get over to this WNBA injury report, but the Liberty did play yesterday. You get here, so you know how that goes. The injury report could change, but as of right now, Sabrina's game time. Phoebich, Laney Hamilton, Fado all out. For Portland, nobody's out. And Portland just not really a good team to me. I know they're coming off of a win in their last game, but I don't really like a whole lot about Portland so far. The Liberty situation, it definitely does not favor them. Situationally, I mean, it absolutely says fire, but I bet the fire in another situation this year, and they got blown off the earth. So it just boils down to I don't trust it enough. Is there anything you can get there with in this game?
Yeah, I wouldn't get there with Portland. That 99-80 win against Toronto the other day was, surprising on a couple of levels. Maybe Toronto had been on the road too long and first game home. We talk about that in the NBA a lot. First game at home, just fade the home team. But a 19-point loss and allowing 99 to Portland, which hadn't really shown all that. Of course, they played the Liberty twice already, Ski. One time they beat them out there, right? They played them in back to backs out west. They beat them once, they lost once. Liberty were much more shorthanded than they are now. I feel like a bounce back since the Liberty didn't have to travel. They're at home, beat by 15 by Dallas in front of their home fans yesterday. Sabrina gets her first game under her belt. Now for Sabali and Rebecca Allen, it's their third game back. So you would think there's a little more cohesion here. And honestly, Sabrina looked halfway decent yesterday. I didn't think she caused a lot of trouble integrating back into the offense. I will say the biggest difference to me in this game, New York has such a size advantage inside. It just looks like Stewart and Jones could sit there and score all day long if they wanted to. Portland's been on the East Coast now. They played Washington the other day, so they're kind of accustomed to being here. But I don't know. To me, there's blowout potential here. So if I was going to play, I would probably be on the Liberty here. I think that off of yesterday's loss, there's probably a little bit of almost happiness to get on the court right away again. I know WNBA players complain a lot about playing back to backs, but I don't think that's the case here for the Liberty. I think they'd like to get back out there and have the result be a little bit different than it was yesterday.
Maybe we like dropping dimes here. We just look at the Liberty early and just take away them running out of gas or whatever could happen in the second half of the game. They should want to come out and right things right away in that first quarter. Could you talk us off that?
I couldn't. That's a small number. That's a couple of buckets. And like I say, if they do come out the way I think they will come out here with a little something to prove. And the depth of rotation ski for the Liberty now, because they played fairly well without some of their top players for the first four games or so. I think the depth of their rotation is really good here. But the starters first quarter, definitely when you line them up against Portland, there's pretty significant advantages there.
All right, so we're in agreement on that. We'll move over to Sun and Valkyries. Opened up 13, still 13. And you do have Grinder game time, Nelson Adota game time, still no Layla out there. And that's what I'm really waiting on. Like, they really need some better guard play for Connecticut. That's they're desperately missing that. For the Valkyries, Zandalicini's game time. Um, the problem here is I just don't view the Valkyries as a team I want to lay this big of a number with. Like yeah, I trust them more defensively. So I guess I would look more towards Connecticut team total under, but it just wasn't one that I felt the strongest about today. Um, Anything Vino from you on Connecticut and Golden State?
Connecticut looked miserable against Seattle. Friday, I think we had that game on the show. Ski, it was part of that card. Connecticut, Seattle. It was a back to back. They had just come off like an 80-78 win against Seattle, and then followed that up with only 59 points. And you're right, the guard play looked bad. But again, I think when we talked on Friday, we were talking about how it should be a parade to the rim because so many bigs were missing on both sides. Almost every big was missing on both sides. I think our fam came back yesterday to play make her season debut for Seattle, but no Ezzy on the other side for Seattle, and obviously Connecticut again. Griner, maybe not. Nelson Adota, maybe not. So it's hard to think that Golden State can't get whatever they want, especially against what might be a tired West Coast tired Connecticut team. But to your point, Golden State doesn't always rack up high numbers, which is what you need here to cover this. They're really good defensively. So you could probably convince yourself into, maybe a 79-64 or something like that. It sounds plausible from the Golden State side. I wouldn't be betting Connecticut here because I just don't think they can score against this defense. I think they might be a little bit fatigued. But Golden State, it is their first home. This is another team that's in their first home after a couple of game road trip. And that road trip was New York and Indiana, which are pretty intense games. And in fact, we saw Tiffany Hayes and Caitlin Clark get into it a little bit in that last game. So I don't know if I could find a way to play this one Ski. I would like to see Golden State get home, get settled. But there's no way I'm playing Connecticut on the road in their fourth straight road game.
Yeah, it's tough today. So, we'll just wrap it up with that. And uh, before we even think about a best bet here, do the promos that we usually do. You know, the best one, double the NBA Court Vision, 3 days for $59, 45 and 23. We continue, to make money in these NBA playoffs. So if you want to check us out, if you're not sure, you just want to check 3 days. This is a good way to test it out, and maybe you'll want to join for longer if you've already, maybe been making money or bought a couple plays or roll with us a couple times, whatever the case may be. This one is mine right here. What is this? Buy WNBA season, you get the rest of the NBA playoffs for free. Like I said in the beginning of the show, um, playoffs, I'm up about 43 units. Overall, basketball in 2026, I'm up like 84 units. So if you're interested in making some more money with basketball with me, here's another way to do it. I'm going to ask Mr. Rob Veno if there's anything else you would like to promote. And, feel free. If you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, it's all good.
Yeah, I will say really quick, Ski, that Wager Talk offers a 3-day all access, meaning all sports, and a longer term all access. The only reason I bring that up is because aside from basketball, I handicapped the UFL. We had a 4-1 UFL weekend, which was really nice. And the Canadian Football League begins this week. So CFL action will be on my card. So you'll have a football basketball combo. So if you're looking for all access packages, short term or long term, visit wagertalk.com. And for me, you'll get everything other than Major League Baseball, which I've taken a hiatus from, and no hockey, although I love to watch the hockey. Best bets. Let's I, Don't let them bully you, Vino. I don't have a WNBA best bet, and I only have one play for today that's available. So again, for those who ask, and why don't you guys give more best bets when we have a short card like this? The company really doesn't want us to give out the only play we have up for sale for free. So it's hard for us to do company wide. So I'll just refrain from any best bet today. Hopefully tomorrow we have a bigger WNBA card tomorrow, which we should be I should be able to pick something from. So for today I'll pass. Tomorrow I'll probably have something.
That'll sum it up for me as well. I feel the exact same way. So, Vino, always appreciate you taking the time to cap these games with me. It helps my process. I'm sure we help everybody else out there. Chat, we appreciate you guys. Best of luck, whatever you decide. Best of luck on all your action, and we will catch you again tomorrow.